Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
We've recently covered the story coming out of Niger when it comes to the government suspending the U.S. military cooperation. They want U.S. military to leave their country and also the staff members. So that is what we talked about, and now U.S. has responded, and the U.S. is basically begging Niger to change their mind. The Pentagon is working with Nigerian authorities to find a way to keep U.S. troops in the country. Last week, a high-level delegation of U.S. officials, including Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs Moli, Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs Wallander, and Head of State Command United for Africa, General Michael, traveled to Niger to meet members of the military junta. Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina said on Monday that the U.S. officials had lengthy and direct discussions with junta members, discussions that were partly motivated by concerns about Niger's potential relations with Russia and Iran. And following the meeting, the junta spokesperson Colonel Major Amadou said U.S. flights over Nigerian territory in recent weeks were illegal, and American bases and civilian personnel can no longer remain on Nigerian soil. So after Niger announced that through their spokesperson, as I said earlier, the US started panicking and government officials are trying to reach out to the Niger junta leaders, but it doesn't look like they're being successful because they'll respond, and that's exactly what they did. They also accused the US of having flights back and forth to Niger without really declaring, without really letting the Nigerian authorities know what's going on, and this is high profile people that are coming in and out, and Niger felt disrespected. They're like, you're not respecting our boundaries, you're not being open and honest, and you're making us or forcing us to choose our partnerships when we're all sovereign countries. So no, that's not going to happen. And they said what they said. We talked about it just the other day. Well, it's official. Niger has suspended military cooperation with the United States of America, basically kicking out the US military troops. As you know, the US has one of its biggest base in Niger, like I believe it's about 800 kilometers away from the capital city, and it's big. It's a big investment because the US invested a lot of money building that base, and they use it also as a strategy to show their upper hand in that region, the Sahel region, when it comes to their competition with China and Russia. So this is huge. This is big, and let me show you first the spokesperson of Niger, what he said announcing the suspension.
The government of the Republic of Niger announces to the national and international public that the 12th, 13th, and 14th of March 2024, its representatives, under the authority of His Excellency, Mr. Ali Mohamed Lamine Zeine, Prime Ministers had a series of work meetings with an American delegation comprised of the Assistant Deputy Secretaries of State for African Affairs, Head of Mission Mrs. Molifi, said Dr. Celeste Wallander, Under Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs, General Michael Langley, Commander-in-Chief of AFRICOM, and Ms. Kathleen Fisben, Ambassador of the United States of America to Niger. In terms of protocol, the arrival of the American delegation did not comply with diplomatic customs. Indeed, it was unilaterally, through a diplomatic note, that the American government informed the Nigerian government of the arrival date and composition of its delegation as well as meeting with the authorities of Niger, without specifying. Concerning the purpose of his visit, it is therefore out of courtesy and following our ancient traditions of welcome and hospitality that the government succeeded with the American delegation. On this substance, the exchanges between the two delegations focused primarily on the military transition underway in Niger. The cooperation between the two countries, especially in military cooperation and the fight against terrorism. Niger's political orientations and outlooks in their aspect related to the choice of partners on the diplomatic front, military and strategic. It being understood that in the American approach, all these three issues are deeply linked. On the ongoing transition and the return as soon as possible to a constitutional and democratic order, Niger's government confirms its commitment to quickly restore constitutional life. This is a solemn commitment made in full responsibility by the President of the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Homeland. Head of State, as expressed in his address to the nation on August 19, 2023, on the selection of diplomatic, strategic, and military partners. The government of Niger regrets the stance of the American delegation to deny the sovereign Nigerian people the right to choose their partners and the types of partnerships that can help them to truly fight against terrorism. Even as the United States of America, they have unilaterally decided to suspend all cooperation between our two countries. Also, the government of Niger strongly condemns the condescending attitude led to the threat of retaliation from the head of the American delegation.
So this is quite a shock for the US, hence why they are begging and pushing for Niger to change their minds. But it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Maybe it will. Maybe Niger will give them a bunch of stuff that they need to do and to fix in order to stay, but it's unlikely because when Niger kicked out French military troops, nothing changed their mind and they were not backing down. So we assume that the same thing will happen in this case, but we will wait and see. We'll update you whatever happens. But the US, according to them, is still holding hope for partnership with Niger, and that's where they stand right now. I am Wongel Zelalem.